Yo, listen up as I narrate the Vector's tale. A man from afar riding the temporal gale. Ronin by name and a Ronin by fate. In the tapestry of time he's got a date. He ain't just saving, he's exploring the rift. In the timelines he travels, he's given a lift. Seeking tech and secrets in a world that's gone astray. Ronin's the man who's gonna find a way. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. From a future so bright to our present so bleak, he's the silent watcher, the tech he does seek. Not just a savior, but a seeker of lore. Ronin's the key to what we're looking for. Through the ruins and the relics, he's making his mark. A beacon of hope in the timeline so dark. With every secret he finds, every piece he retrieves. He's crafting a future nobody believes. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legends inscribed. Ronin Vector, the man who defied. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legends inscribed. Ronin Vector, the man who defied.
Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Good morning, Bravo. My name is Ronin Vector. I'm here again, and we're taking a little break from Sailblazers to get back into some live reading. I hadn't forgotten. I desperately still want to do X-Men. I don't know, I have the motivation to do it today. You know, I've been listening to a lot of good comic book stories. Some of our comic book reading's been paying off. I've been watching some older and newer videos lately of just comic book reviews and readings and whatever, what have you. And I'm noticing things now, like, let's see, the character the Vanisher from like the seventh comic I think we read. I noticed him in a fucking comic book. He looked completely different, but where is that little turd? Oh my God, he's like, what issue did he was, okay, so he was in the first issue. Everyone Tomorrow is a New Game by Obsidian event. That's right. We're going to be, and I think it comes out early access starts at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and but my time that'll be around 11. So yeah, I'll have it on tomorrow. I'll probably start the stream around this time because that's when it's supposed to be released for early access. So, assuming it all goes well, I've been sold an early access game before like this, and they just didn't do it. I think it was Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, they fucked up their early access. Aki, how you do? What do you think of Avowed? Do you think it's got a chance? Have you looked into it much? Oh, right on. Yeah, have you looked into Avowed at all, or I'm all right and maybe? All right. Yeah, I've been purposely trying to not give myself too much information outside of the trailers. So I've not even watched much demo gameplay either. So I'm kind of going into it blind a little bit. But it's on Game Pass and there's not much to lose. $10 a month for the PC version of it anyways. Um so yeah, tomorrow, thank you, Bravo, for bringing that up. Um yeah, exactly. Like I had nothing to lose by playing Starfield because it was already part of a subscription I had. Uh I don't know if it was worth it even then, but Starfield sure did try. So yeah, tomorrow, Avowed, first thing, as quick as we can, without hopefully too many bugs or anything like that. I don't know that Obsidian is too famous for their jankiness. I feel like, with the exception of New Vegas, maybe, uh, and I blame Bethesda more than Obsidian because it's, Bethesda's game engine. Uh, I think Obsidian usually puts out pretty solid games from the get-go, so I'm hoping we're not going to get any game-breaking bugs or stuff that's going to constantly crash. You never know what you get with these things when you're playing them right out the gate. So, but I was saying, like, we were doing live readings a couple weeks ago, and our readings finally paid off for me the other day because I noticed this dude from the very first comic, The Vanisher, that creepy looking fuck there. Yeah, he was I think he was in that the newer Marvel zombie comics. The one that was like 28 days later. And he appears in it. He's just like, yeah, I'm here to teleport you guys. Hi and bye. So yeah, I felt very proud. I felt like a proper nerd. So I'm it between that and just reading and seeing a bunch of good comics lately, I got it in me today. So we left off last time in our live reading on number 9, and we had the very first crossover. I'd say like proper crossover with another superhero team where they fight the Avengers and Lucifer. They also fight Lucifer. Um, Not the dynamic being, just some pissed off dude. So, yeah, they probably would have lost to the Avengers if they kept going, is my guess, based on what we saw, which makes sense. The team is still relatively new. Like, they're still, like, I think in the first year of they might have already had a year together at this point. I'm not sure, but yeah, they saved the day, and Cyclops got to use his powers in a neat way to disarm a bomb. Professor X pretty much guided him through doing like a precision laser cut to disarm a bomb. It was pretty cool. I don't think I appreciated it in the moment, but I, looking back on it, it's pretty neat. Be right back. Got to use the NCR Wasteland restroom. That's okay, because I like to do a little educational investigation before I do my reading. Um, so we're on number 10, and I think this is going to be the introduction of the Savage Land. I'm guessing this is Kazar's first appearance since they're introducing him, as it says. and I'm assuming that we're going to see the Savage Land. Maybe they don't put a name on it at this point, but yeah, Kazar. I remember Kazar from the cartoon mostly because it just always felt so random to me. Having this random uh, Conan the Barbarian dude just show up. Everything about the Savage Land always seemed kind of random to me in the cartoons. And I think back then I didn't really appreciate it for what it was because I don't know. Obviously, I think the Savage Land is supposed to be a callback to even older comic books that, followed the adventures of the wild man in the jungle. So I feel like in retrospect, it's supposed to be kind of a callback towards that. Oh, hey, Agent 66. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. How you do? So yeah, I believe this is the introduction to Kazar. Maybe he had a comic before this. I'm not sure. Let's see. I can check. This is why we get the wiki up before we do stuff and say dumb things. Let's see. Just want to know maybe trivia. This isn't going to be in order, is it? Oh, no, it is in order. Yeah, so this is his first appearance. Yeah. See, I don't know. I always thought, okay, it's just chilling. I always thought Kazar was like, maybe it was like some really old Marvel comic book that they pulled out of nowhere. Cause I always felt this character in the Savage Land, just, it's just now there's just a jungle and now there's a wild man. So I'm going to be doing a dramatic live readings of old X-Men comics. That's the dream. We've already gone through 1 through 9, which I have on my backlog. Might be harder to find on Twitch, but if you look me up on YouTube, you can find all the old ones. Basically, the format is I bring it up on the wiki, talk a little bit about what we see right off the bat, kind of judge a book by its cover kind of deal. And, do a little bit of research, try not to spoil too much for myself. And then I read it like a maniac. So that's our format for the show. I do. Yesterday I was playing Sailblazers. It's a indie survival game. Pretty standard, but it's got like a capitalism twist on it. And tomorrow we're going to be getting into Avowed, developed by Obsidian, who did like New Vegas and a bunch of other good games. And it's published by Microsoft. So it's going to be released tomorrow. It's on the Game Pass, $10 a month. So if you feel like giving it a try, $10, not much to lose. Actually, I take it back. It's released on the 18th for Game Pass, but if you shell out $20 for their premium edition add-on, then you get early access. So, do what you will with that information. But yeah, I play all sorts of games. I'm inconsistent with what I like. I'm like a dog chasing my tail, I see something, I like it, I play it, I do it. But lately it's been Sailblazers and Helldivers 2. Yeah, exactly. That's my attitude. Like, Starfield was definitely not worth buying right out the gate. And I'm glad that it was on Game Pass because I don't know, maybe I would have shelled out money for it because I was looking forward to a game like that, but I also, it being Bethesda, had a pretty good chance of being janky at best out the gate. So yeah, Avowed, it's definitely worth looking into based on the things I've seen. I think Bethesda desperately needs competition for Elder Scrolls. We need more competent fantasy games. I finally beat Baldur's Gate 3 the other day. It's probably the 10th character I started and played through, but it was the only one I beat the game with. Very proud of myself. Play Marvel. Oh, Marvel Rivals. I'm not very good at the game, so I need to what I love playing as Jet the Shark, but I go back and forth on my competency. So, and my God, like it didn't take long for people to turn into complete goddamn psychopaths. Like, I think week 2 into the game, I was already getting people that were telling like teammates to go kill themselves and shit like that. So it like, it's already bad enough losing. Like adding on like all that negative bullshit, it just wears on you. I'm man enough to admit that. Hey, I'm glad if you can take it. No, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm all for like, helpful criticism. Like, hey, Ronin, do you think you can not suck as a shark and maybe play someone else? Like, and hopefully it's said even better than that. Dude, it's between the chat and on and text, it's like it's a terrible time to know how to listen and read. If I was smart, I would just disable it and ignore it completely, but I also don't like shutting myself off to stuff either if it's there. It's weird. I got a weird relationship with game. But getting back into this puppy, this guy came out in 1965. That's how long this thing has been going on for. I wasn't even in this timeline by then. That's something. We got all the same crew as last time. Stan Lee is the writer and the editor. We got Jack Kirby as the penciler, Schick Stone as the inker, and Sam Rosen as the letterer. And the colorists, once again, just they get no credit whatsoever. I wonder why I don't know. Did they like outsource that to Korea or something? Because I noticed in other entries, like they would mention the colorer but leave it uncredited. So if you want, you can look me up on Discord, but I'm not really in the market for art right now. Sorry to say. But yeah, I got the same handle on Discord if you want to send me an invite. I'm more than happy to always look at least. So that's it. Yeah, it came out January 1965. So this was the first X-Men comic of that year then. And they didn't get a whole lot. Like we're in the third, I think they started 1963. Yeah. So yeah, they didn't get a whole lot out each year. Or maybe this was a lot back then. I don't know. But we're getting into it. I turn up the music a little. All right, so X-Men number 10. Oops. Lost my chat window. There it is. All right, the X-Men. Introducing, oh boy, Kazar? You know what? I'm gonna look up how to pronounce that real quick. Actually, you know what? I can have AI tell me how to do it. I'm just that kind of guy. How do I pronounce Hazar? I could probably just even look it up from the cartoon, assuming they did it correctly. Hazar. Okay, so I had it right. Hazar. Emphasis on the first syllable. It rhymes with say. Oh, those are. So you're supposed to put emphasis on the K. Hazar. Thank you, AI. Introducing Hazar, Lord of the Jungle. Hazar, unquestionably the most spectacular new character of the year. Come on, I don't know. I think even back then, like, we've seen this stereotype so often. White dude in the jungle becomes Tarzan. So I can't imagine when people looked at this back then, right off the bat, were like super excited. Like, it's Tarzan with a cat, right? Like, They had that. They had that lots of times before that. So we'll see. I don't know that my feelings have changed, like seeing him in the cartoon, like after seeing him. I don't know. I never felt like there was a whole lot of depth there. We'll see if the comic books can convince me otherwise. Thrill to Zabu the Sabertooth. Why does that say that? That doesn't even make sense. There's supposed to be a way to... There we go. Oh shit, look, they said it right there. I didn't even have to look it up. I was just a little more patient. X-Men, the most unusual teenagers of all time. The coming of Kazar. Although they say, see now, but this is telling me something different. It's saying K-Sar, not Zar. I'm gonna let the AI know that it says Sar. The comic says I'm supposed to pronounce it as K-Sar. You're absolutely right, pronunciations. So it's just taking my word for it. I could be lying to you, AI. Alright. Featuring a fascinating journey to the world that time forgot. Stan Lee, writer, and Jack Kirby, artist, have triumphed again, magnificently supported by Schickstone, inker S. Rosen, letterer. Alright. Fuck you colorists, though. Introducing Zabu, the Sabertooth Stalker. See, people have always loved cats. You put a cat in something, there's a good chance it might be loved. Let me fix something with my camera real quick. It's bothering me. There we go. Alright, so let's take a look at this nice art. We got Archangel, Iceman, Cyclops, Red, or Jean Grey, or Marvel Girl, and Hank McCoy Beast. You know, I learned something neat that, spoilers for everything X-Men, but, so in the first, like, 2 or 3 comic books, they used to call, Cyclops Slim, and, you know, her nickname is Red pretty frequently throughout the comics. And, I learned in the future when they raise little baby Cable as, like, alternate people, they use his nickname, Slim, so... See, that was another instance of my little bit of comic knowledge coming through by reading this stuff. I thought it was neat. I love little things like that. It's the little things in life for me. Alright, come on. You are privileged to look inside the world's strangest training chamber, the X-Men's Danger Room, where Professor Xavier's marvelous mutants brush up on some highly specialized postgraduate studies. You've taken that rifle apart perfectly with your telekinetic power, Jean. Holy cow, you'll never get those pieces together again in the right order. Nonsense, Bobby. She'll accomplish it with ease. Please, nobody speak. I can't be distracted. So she was pretty confident, like, pretty early on, I'd say. I mean, that's no small thing. That's, like, something Dr. Manhattan does. A few seconds later, excellent, Jean. You've refined your power to an almost unbelievable degree. Almost as unbelievable as your beauty, which leaves me breathless. Thank you, Scott. But to you, I'll never be anything more than Marvel Girl. Oh, just show her your penis already. Rift, Genie. If you had ice power too, you'd be perfect. And I'm doing Iceman Super Gay, but like in the closet for those unaware or don't remember, because that's actually what he is. I've got to change the subject. When she stands this close to me, I forget everything but my desire to reach out to her. To reach out, to embrace her. By the way, where's Warren? I don't see him here. That's right, he hasn't been here. We'd better check. He's never missed a training session before. I'll go with you, Scott. The beast shall also accompany you. There is no way that is faster than just moving like a normal person, but they're teenagers. I gotta keep reminding myself. We'll try his room first, and there he is. This special bulletin is being transmitted via Telestar satellite through the facilities of... Be with you in a second, Scott. I just want to see this. And retroactively, they'd make him a rich dude, so he's gonna have a snobby accent. Also, I'm gonna stop and talk about things. I'm gonna fuck up a lot. So, if it's not your cup of tea, it's fine. There are plenty of people doing this better than me. But mostly, as we go, I like to discuss things and I guess maybe react a little, It's more of a discussion than... It's as much as a discussion as it is a reading. Let's see, okay, Scott's talking. Mr. Warrington, may I remind you that no one is excused from postgraduate work without express permission of Professor X himself? I know, Scotty, but this may concern all of us. Watch. I second the cat statement. Felines rule in this narration. Oh, thank you, Don Ass. You're sweet. Yeah, so you put a cat in something, it's got a good chance of making it, Be it a video game, movie, TV show, comic book, a painting. See, I joke about Iceman being gay, but they're giving him a pink bubble for some reason. Just saying. I know, Scotty, but this may concern all of us. Watch. Say, what's going on there, anyway? It's a videotape broadcast of something that happened yesterday at Antarctica. One of the exploration party has been missing and considered lost until he was carried to the camp by a fantastic figure clad in only a loincloth. Cover your eyes, Jeannie. Although our transmission is somewhat hazy, it appears that a saber-toothed tiger accompanied the primitive stranger, causing panic among the startled members of the expedition. Unprepared for such a sight, the armed explorers opened fire while the cameramen continued to shoot these incredible scenes. So it sounds like Khazar got there, they freaked out when they saw him with the tiger, and then chaos ensued. Only a miracle prevented any fatalities, and the savage man and beast soon faded into the night after running amok through the camp. Man, look at him go. That is one ripped cat. It's impossible. Saber-toothed tigers have been extinct for ages, and yet we saw it. How about that? That wild man, like a later day Tarzan. See, they say it too. I'm not crazy. In that frigid climate without protective clothes, could he be? He must be a mutant. Oh wait, no, that's beast. He must be a mutant. Saber Slaughter, yeah. That'd be a great name for a contingent of Sabertooths, the Saber Slaughter Corps. Minutes later, the excited teenagers rush into the luxurious study of the man called Professor X. Professor, we've just seen the most amazing thing on TV. I know, Scott. Washington has already contacted me about the Antarctic Wild Man, as they call him. He's obviously a mutant, sir, and he appears to be a dangerous one. He is going to break that fucking chair. I'm just saying. I must be getting old, because I see a big man on a nice chair like that, and I think to myself, he's gonna crush it. He's gonna break the shit out of it. One day, it's just gonna collapse right on him. Boy, the South... Wait. Oh yeah, I said beast. Boy, the South Pole is the one place where I'll feel right at home. There is no need to concern yourselves, my X-Men. He is not a mutant. But, sir, how can you be so certain? I wonder what the deal is with coloring in these bubbles. They never seem to worry about differentiating it before. And I'm certain they don't do this, consistently anywhere else. I'm gonna assume that's Bobby, since they gave him pink before. It's been weeks since we've had the chance to use all our training. If he were a true mutant, my sensitive cerebral machine would have recorded his presence. Also, I would have mentally sensed it, and yet... One of his eyes was looking a little wonky there. I can't tell which one. He's got crazy eyes. Well, now he's got a pink bubble, so now I don't know what to think. It is true that you've been inactive for weeks, and being young and adventurous, such a mission might be good for your morale. So, you may investigate the Antarctic Wild Man. Thank you, Professor. Hot dog! I'm telling you, it's... Making him the gay one, retrospectively, it works out, almost all the time. A mission, at last. Yeah, people are mad that Iceman's gay, but it just makes sense more and more sense after every comic issue. Oh, what a relief to get my wings unstrapped and become the angel once more. An untamed, marauding savage. At last, the beast will have a foe worthy of his mettle. Iceman, stop that, you juvenile Jerry Lewis. I don't understand that reference. Meanwhile, the X-Men's deputy leader remains for a last-minute briefing with the professor. You will notice, Scott, that my master cerebro analyzer, although focused upon the Antarctic regions, registers the presence of no mutants in that area. However, there may be danger there, a different danger than any you have ever faced before. I assume by your words, sir, that you do not intend to come with us on this mission. With us. I said that weird. I assume by your words, sir, that you do not intend to come on this mission with us. No, Cyclops. You have all completed your basic training and proven yourselves on other missions. My work is here. Good luck. Thank you, sir. Oh, wait, I don't know why I said that. It's Warrington. Thank you, sir. We shall not disappoint you. Days later, having landed at the prearranged base within the mysterious polar region, the X-Men began the next lap of their journey into the unknown. JD, welcome to the party! We're getting back into some comics today. Dude, I hate to admit it, but I caught the last Absolute Batman, and I'm starting to get on board, man. It's starting to happen. Setting a bunch of money on fire on a bat signal? That's my kind of chaos. The Black Mask being a cynical fuck, I wasn't expecting it. Like, not that much depth, so I don't know. There's been a bunch of good comics lately, and I'm excited. It's getting me in the mood. I also watched The Blurred do his interview with the Captain Planet comic book writer. It's pretty cool. So I'm all comic booked up. One World Under Doom arc is starting too. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'm hoping it's not going to be too influenced by what's going on in movie land, but we'll see. I'm rarely disappointed by Doctor Doom and his portrayals. Rarely. So, let's see. Angel speaking first, and I'm gonna assume the second guy is Cyclops. Looks like my wings won't do me much good here, gang. It's too cold to take off this parka, so I can't use them. Don't count on it, Angel. We still don't know what we're heading into. Remember that wild man only wore a loincloth. Miles and miles of nothing, but nothing. How can land such as this hold a mystery? That's what we're here to find out, Jean. Uh-oh, here's our first problem. I'm guessing that's Beast on all fours? That's the area where the wild man ran off to on the videotape film. On the videotape film. Kind of redundant. But take a look at that crevasse. Now, you know what? I never get the opportunity to say the word crevasse all that often. It just feels good. Take a look at that crevasse. One day, I'm going to use the word crevasse organically. I'm going to be so happy and nobody's going to understand. It's a sheer drop of 100 feet. Nothing could fall down there and live. Damn, it's kind of hard to tell who that is. It looks as though our mission is ended before it began. If he fell down here, he's finished. Or it could be Jean. No, that's probably Jean. I'm guessing, well, obviously Cyclops, Iceman, maybe that's Beast. So these two I'm not sure about. That could be Angel or Beast, that could be Angel or Beast. But I'm gonna guess, since he's got kind of more of a squared off face, I guess that's Beast. So that's Jean. Alright. It looks as though our mission is ended before it began. If he fell down here, he's finished. Yep, we can't be certain. I'll see how far down my power blast ray can penetrate. But then suddenly... Look, the energy from your ray caused a geyser of snow to shoot up behind us. There's a hidden tunnel under here. Then he wasn't killed in the fall. This must be where he came from and where he vanished to. I wonder if that Sabretooth is still with him. Then, after what seems like hours of descending... It's like coming to a new, undiscovered world. And it's warm. We can shed our coats and I can fly. Scouting ahead, the awe-stricken Angel soon sees. It's like a vast animal burial ground, but the bones, they're the wrong size. They're the skeletons of monsters. Yeah, that would be pretty freaky to see. And then you got that. Then, emerging from the gigantic cave, Angel hears a blood-curdling screech above and turns around to find pterodactyl birds from the dinosaur era. How can it be? But the winged mutant has no time for idle speculation as the flying killers attack. Wow, that was too close for comfort. Clack. This feels like just like somebody just really wanted to like draw dinosaurs, or like they always wanted to do a dinosaur story. I don't know. Or, you know, this was pretty far back, so maybe they're like, what are the kids like? Kids will fucking love dinosaurs. We'll put some dinosaurs in there. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like if there's any kind of deeper hidden meaning behind the Savage Land and the why of it. Hang on, Angel. My power beam will scatter them. Much obliged, Psych. These overgrown parakeets mean business. That's the last of them, Scott. You drove them off. But where are we? What kind of place is this? Apparently, we have stumbled upon a warm tropical land buried far beneath the frozen waste of Antarctica. See, that's what I think the best idea out of this whole thing is the idea that underneath Antarctica, there's this whole hidden biome of not only creatures that survived from billions of years ago, but new creatures that went on to evolve into different things that we couldn't even conceive of. So, like, I really like the idea of the Savage Land. It's just so much like, I just wonder, though, just why? Like, what was going through their heads when they made it? But the flora and fauna are all prehistoric, vegetation and animal life which ceased to exist on the surface of the Earth ages ago. We've seen this sort of thing many times on The Late Show, but to actually encounter such a world in real life, it staggers the senses. I'll do some more scouting now that those flying nightmares are gone. Look, those horses aren't much larger than puppies. They're the ancestors of our present-day stallions. What a fabulous archaeological find. Okay, that would be a neat pet to have. Although they kind of like, look at this one right here. It's got like weird, freaky horse digits. Yeah, they are little hands. See, this one's got his hands spread out on the right side. So I had no idea. Yeah, see, like, right there, you can see its little finger spread. So they're like horses with fingers, mini horses with fingers. If I remember my ancient history, many of the most dangerous looking prehistoric beasts were vegetarians. I hope. Imagine walking one of these on a leash in the park. But suddenly, the youthful mutants' amused interest turned to unbelieving shock as they see... Scott, all of you, look, charging towards us from the underbrush. What's that? X-Men, on the double, prepare for battle. See, was the narration really necessary here? Like, kind of felt like the dialogue did all the heavy lifting there. Whatever, doesn't matter. Also, are those giant? Okay, those are chocobos, if I ever saw one. Those are giraffe llamas, I'm just gonna say. But that bitch is a chocobo if I ever saw one. Let me show you what a chocobo looks like for those that are not in the know. So that bitch looks like a chocobo. Look at that. Look at that. I wonder what came first. I think this came first. So, I mean, chocobos are really just like cute-looking ostriches, I guess. So, it's not like the most original design in the world. So did Final Fantasy steal from this, then? I don't think Final Fantasy existed in the 60s. Huh. Yeah, the distant ancestor of chocobos. Primitive warriors mounted on giant carnivorous birds. They're about to attack us with rocks. It's funny, they're using rocks, but they clearly have, like, access to technology that, like, makes rubber boots and vests with pockets, and I guess if it works, it works. No, okay, I take it all back. They're a little smarter than they look. No, they're not rocks. They're crude missiles filled with volcanic gases. Hold your breaths. How does he know what volcanic gases smell like? But Cyclops' frantic warning comes too late, for all save the beast. Anyone ever tell you you have a deep-rooted hostility complex? Or dormant, not doormat. Anyone ever tell you that you have a dormant, deep-rooted hostility complex? Oh, some people can't take the slightest criticisms, but how can they shoot such a multitude of arrows simultaneously? I mean, I guess if it works, it works. I'm not gonna pretend I get how it works, though. Like, it kind of just looks like a rack. I guess we're supposed to assume that these are strings, like stretchy strings. I feel like the physics don't quite make sense on that, but I'm no archist. Now I see it. They're not as brainless as they seem. That's a mighty clever multiple arrow launcher they're employing. But I'm not in a position to appreciate it right now. Suddenly, an ear-splitting battle cry rents the air, causing the savage marauders to flee in terror. That's my interpretation of the sound he's making. That would scare me. Of course, they had time to take Gene there. And he's copping a feel. They're running off, but they've taken Marvel Girl. Yeah, I remember this in the comics, that they kidnap her and she gets the damsel in distress role a little bit. That Sabretooth is stalking them. No, he can't go on. The swamp stopped him. He's turning back. The wild man called him. And I believe in the cartoon he just speaks like a normal dude. Like, he doesn't speak like Tarzan, where he's like, swamp means death, Zabul. There is better way. We find. I guess he does. I thought in the cartoon he spoke normal. All right, Tarzan caveman speak it is. Swamp means death, Zabul. There is better way. We find. The tiger is tame. He's conversing with it. I am Kesar. Kesar. I am Kesar. Well, whatever you call yourself, Nature Boy, I'm indebted to you and your little pet for driving those aborigines away. That volcanic gas put us to sleep, couldn't fight it. Well, it seems that you located our quarry while we slept. Good work, Beast. I am Kesar. It would be more accurate to say he located us. Conversationally, he's someone like a broken record. Eat your heart out, Groot. Anyway, he probably saved our lives while you were all in repose. Say, that's a remarkable pair of biceps you got there, Kesar. Dude, yeah, I agree with Kesar on this. No touch. None touch the Lord of the Jungle. Zabu? Beast, look out for the tiger. Yeah, you do not just walk up to somebody and start being, ooh, look at your muscles, nice muscles, bro. Let me touch your cum gutters. Like, yeah, no. Moving like a jungle cat himself, the agile beast narrowly escapes the saber-tooth's deadly leap. Many moons ago, other men, on surface, attacked Kesar. Kesar fled down here, will never flee again. You fool, I mean you no harm. Poor cat. Cat didn't deserve that. I'll put that nutty pussycat in a deep freeze until we settle with the fella in the fur bikini. Too easy. Zabu! He who would attack Zabu must first destroy his blood brother, Kesar. Splang. Splang. Should it be more of like a crunch crack sound? Splang? Made a splang noise? Okay, whatever. Look, we mean you no harm. Right now our biggest problem is to rescue our female partner from those savages who seized her. Now stay back, don't force us to get rough with you. We've got to find Marvel Girl. You attack Kesar, now you die. He is holding my visor, I can't use my power blast. He doesn't understand, thinks we're enemies. Kesar fears nothing, Kesar, Lord of Jungle. It's like trying to restrain a tornado. But just then, another thundering war cry is heard. Aye! Kesar is smooth-skinned weakling. I crush Kesar. Guessing that's the local Neanderthal. Mabor, the killer, last of man-ape tribe. Kesar fears nothing. Kesar fears no one. So is that his actual fur then? Oh yeah, no, he is hairy. Look at that. Yeah, see the way he talks about him, like it makes it sound like there's a whole history there. There was a comic book I missed. None can touch Lord of Jungle. Look at that. He's as good as he says he is. But why are we watching? Why don't we search for Gene? We can't without his help. We've got to wait and enlist him as an ally. He knows this forsaken jungle. We don't. Look how quickly he defeated that caveman. He's a one-man army. Run, man-ape. Run from might of Kesar. As Cyclops covers his ears. And Beast. Guess who's pretty loud. Roar! Stronger than Mastodon, stronger than Giant Boar. Mighty is Kesar, Lord of Jungle. Kazar, listen. You've got to help us. Those savages captured our female partner. You must know where they've taken her. The swamp men, my enemies too. Kazar, help. We go now. At last. And so, that swell-headed muscle man. Doesn't, yeah, I missed a word. Doesn't that swell-headed muscle man ever get tired? He seems to have the endurance of a tiger. See the long, easy strides he takes? He's not even breathing hard. Personally, I resent it. He's giving me an inferiority complex. Meanwhile, some distance ahead, we find the Angel still upon his scouting mission. It's the strangest feeling I've ever known. I'm actually flying in a world that should have died 1,000,000 years ago. Let's see what we got. We got some anteater donkeys, some, I want to say like a shark rhino, maybe a shark hippo, rhino hippo. Yeah, I'll settle there. We got a Loch Ness monster. Yeah, you'd think they'd post a few detour signs to warn low-flying X-Men. Oh no, it's a Bronto. Okay. It's too bad none of us brought a camera. We could film the science fiction classic of all time down here, and we wouldn't have to pay a cent to special effects men. But then, while darting wildly about to avoid the great swaying heads of the grazing brontosauri, the Angel is unable to dodge a skillfully thrown net. Oh no! I've flown out of the frying pan and into the fire. It reminds me of like Kung Pao, when the Chosen One gets caught by a net. I love it. Wow, yeah, that net really did the job, I guess. And moments later, Warren Warrington III, scion of one of America's wealthiest families, is helpless captive of the swamp men in a lost world time forgot. So this is the first time I think they've just come out and said that he's fucking loaded. I'm trying to remember if they had the Warren Warrington III title before the fourth comic. So I don't feel like a lot of these characters started getting individual personalities until like after the second or third comic. So, but I think they hinted at it through his name, but yeah, now they're just saying straight up, he's a rich boy. Woo! How would the others ever find me now? Oh wait, I thought that was the caveman speaking. I was gonna make a male Billy. Oh boy, how will the others ever find me now? I mean, it's not bad for a couple of Neanderthals. This must be their city, a primitive walled enclosure in the heart of the swamp. Jean, they got you too? Then what about the others? They're still safe as far as I know, but they intend to make sacrifices out of us. I like the lizard man here. I like that he's wearing some lizard gear. It's like he read a Spider-Man comic and decided like the lizard was his favorite villain. Now he just cosplays as him. I mean, he's the only one. Everybody else is wearing like tribal gear with 80s hair, kinda. Like, that's almost a flat top. Then, as the captives are led to the top of a strange pyramid, Jean, listen, use your telekinetic power on your ropes to unravel them. I thought of that, but I can't. They're covered with pitch, they won't unravel. That's pretty smart. Well, we've got to think of something. They're not making us take this climb for our health. Finally, upon reaching the top, the swamp men descend once again, leaving their two helpless captives alone, as the two massive stone doors slowly creak open. Scott, listen! Did you hear that roar from down there? It's coming closer. Why did they mess up? That's Warren, not Scott. Easy, kid. Try to stand behind me. Let me face it first. Yeah, they fucked up. I'm surprised I made it through. Also, my earbud just got disconnected. Yeah, it seems like kind of an obvious fuck up. Unless I'm like not understanding the context correctly. Cause that bitch ain't Scott. Slowly, menacingly, a huge, awesome form begins to appear. The massive, titanic form of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, largest of the carnivorous dinosaurs. I think that's a lie. I think that might be a lie. Gene, don't panic. We still have a chance. Oh, no. They didn't have time to put pitch on my bonds. Take your eyes off that monster. Concentrate on my ropes. Quickly. You've got to untie them telekinetically now. She's almost numb with fear. I've got to snap her out of it. We've only seconds left. Gene, think of the others. They need us to warn them, to stop them from coming closer. Meanwhile, the small rescue party comes nearer and nearer until... I can make it, Psych, but what about you and Bobby? In Icebridge, right? Yeah. Don't worry about us, Beastie Boy. We can always think of something, like this quick freeze bridge, for instance. Faster, Bobby. Kesar is outdistancing us. We mustn't lose him. Don't worry, Scott. I can always pick up his trail. Looks like we won't have to, Hank. We're there. Wow, how will we ever get inside of that? Let's see what Kesar does. He seems to have a plan. Quiet. Kesar is giving the Sabretooth some sort of instructions. Fine, so long as he doesn't mention us. I'll do some reconnaissance on my own. Go, Zappo! Look! Atop the high barricade wall. See all the commotion? They've spotted us. The only thing that bugs at me, Psych, is... Did we really volunteer for this caper? Meanwhile, back atop the high plateau... No, Gene. You can't stop him by throwing boulders. My ropes. Concentrate on my ropes. I can't. I don't dare turn my head even for a second. Perhaps if I can concentrate on his legs, he'll topple. Oh, but he's so heavy. But I upset him for a moment. Now I can turn to you. At least you can save yourself, Warren. There, now hurry. Or no, there, now hurry. Fly and warn the others. Tell them of the danger here. He could easily pick her up and fly. Yeah, there we go. I will, Gene, but not without you. No, you're too weak. Your wings are cramped from being tied for so long. You can't. But I've got to try. I could never leave you behind. Couldn't get altitude fast enough. They grabbed my legs. But we won't give up. I'll drag them into the air too if I must. And at that very moment, a lone figure runs up to the sheer side of the wall, the high stockade wall, dodging the rocks which come flying down at him with the skill of a born mutant. I pray we're not too late. Stand aside, gentlemen. It will behoove you not to make me lose my temper. Personally, I've always believed that violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. While down below, there's no time to find a battering ram, Kesar, so my power beam will have to do the trick, if I can make it sufficiently wide enough. Your eyes magic! But although Cyclops succeed in blasting a large enough entrance hole, he learns that it would still be death to try to use it. Back! What do we got there? It looks like a broken sword with a mace tied onto the end of it, kinda, like where the handle should be. Sorta. I don't know what I'm looking at. Your magic, too weak. Only Kesar is Lord of Jungle. What are you going to do? Instead of answering, the Jungle Monarch again emits a spine-tingling, ear-splitting roar. And from the edge of the swamp behind them, the roar is echoed back again from the throats of a herd of charging mastodons, led by a snarling, speeding saber-toothed tiger. So, the tiger has like some kind of deal with the mastodons then? Like, they know to follow him? It's like some kind of understanding there. Nothing erected by mere mortal men can withstand the fury of such an onslaught, and so, crash. You're a mighty handy fella to have in a pinch, Kesar, but now I've got to find Marvel Girl. Run, swamp men, flee to the might of the Jungle Lord. No mere words of ours can do justice to the fury of Kesar's attack, so we'll attempt no such written description. I wasn't done looking at this scene. Alright, what do we got here? We got Cyclops up top, blasting away. Kesar lifted up a guy by his spear. Iceman is rolling a bunch of men into a snowball. Kind of seems like Iceman is doing most of the heavy lifting here. Not that it's not cool to throw a man by the spear. Angel, look! A saber-toothed tiger! Whatever you call it, Jean, it's a lifesaver. We couldn't have held them off much longer. Jean, you're all right. Thank heavens you're not harmed, you're safe. Is that a normal concern of a leader for an ally? Or do I detect a note in his voice? One that I've been longing to hear. I'm okay too, Psych, or hadn't you noticed? How did you find us, Scott? We have Kesar to thank for that. Kesar? Won't someone kindly extricate me from this precarious perch? Hang on, Hank, I'll get you. How did you get up there, Mr. McCoy? I'm not sure. One minute I was holding on a multitude of foes at bay, and then the next thing I knew, instant embarrassment. If you don't stop mouthing off long enough for me to get a good grip, you'll be an instant kerplunk. Alas, conversation is a dying art amongst today's youth. You are part of the youth. What are you talking about? Finally, the battle won, Kesar leads the wary X-Men back to the point of entry to the surface world. This was a charming place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here. We came here hoping to find a true mutant, but the professor was right. Instead, we have found a true friend, Kazar. Perhaps you do not understand what my words mean, but no talk. Your world above, my world jungle. Only Kazar is Lord of Jungle. You go, no return. Friendly sort of fella, isn't he? In a way, it's lucky he's not a mutant. We'd have our hands full persuading him to return to America with us. Then, no sooner had the X-Men entered the tunnel, then Kazar signals his mastodons, and the entrance is hidden behind tons of crashing boulders. Thus, we leave the Jungle Lord with his victory cry reverbing across the plains of the world that time forgot. But many questions still remain unanswered, and we suspect that this may not be the last we will see of Kazar and Zabu, for the future holds many mysteries which we shall unravel one by one in the months to come. There you got it. That was Kazar, all his shenanigans. Now let's see if there's any good trivia here to be had for number 10. I think overall it was an alright story. I mean, I don't know that they did a whole lot to differentiate between like Tarzan or any Tarzan type like him. But I mean, I do like that there's like a lot of implied history. Like, I want to know more about that, the last ape man, why he's called the killer, you know? Like, did Kazar like kill an entire species of man? Kind of intriguing. Not a typical good guy. Yeah, see, the notes picked it up too. Marvel Girl erroneously calls Angel Scott when they were trying to get away from the T-Rex. So I'm not crazy. I like when I'm not crazy. Kazar is pronounced K-Sar. This is stated in the opening pages of the issue. Yeah, so AI got it wrong immediately. Kazar appears next in Daredevil number 12. That seems so random. Like, did they take the man out of the savage jungle, or did they take the savage jungle out of the man? Nope, looks like he goes to the savage land. Isn't his whole thing like protecting Hell's Kitchen? How did he... All right, whatever. He knows Daredevil. What are you going to do about it? Jack Kirby accurately portrays many prehistoric animals as they were understood in the 1960s. It's neat. They went through the effort to try to make it accurate or with the information they had. I commented on one of Comics Explained videos, and I keep getting notifications about replies. All right. That's kind of it. So, introduction of Kazar in the Savage Land. That's now a concept and a thing. Now, just looking at this, I think this, when I had started reading these originally years ago, I think I ended somewhere around here. It was either sometime this one or the next one after. So I remember The Stranger because it's weird. It's strange. The story. I believe this is the story that where Magneto is like abducted by aliens or something. It takes him out of the picture for a minute. I just remember thinking it was so weird. Like, oh, this is how he gets screwed over like badly for the first time. But March 4th, 1965, number 11, same crew as last time. Stan Lee as the writer and editor. Penciler Jack Kirby, inker Schick Stone. Screw You colorist. Letterers Artie Simek. So a different letterer, I think. Yeah. It's been mostly Sam Rosen, so we got a new letterer. All new to me. Oh, we're getting all sorts of cameos and whatnot in this. All right, let's not spoil it any more than I have for myself. So, okay, looking at this initially, I thought he was like really big. Like I thought he was just a giant man. But looking at it closely, you can see he's just floating close to the camera, I guess. So, yeah, strange. Not not particularly menacing either. I mean, he's just kind of a creepy old dude floating. So, seems like this year of X-Men is it's starting a little rough on like the characters seem very normal so far, the new ones they've introduced. Like the last guy was just Tarzan. This dude looks like a old scientist. Welcome back, Bravo. We just finished number 10 and we're moving on to 11. Look at this threat. He's gonna, I don't know, cook you fried chicken or something. I'm not sure what this dude is about. But I was telling people earlier that uh as far as me reading the OG X-Men comics, I ended around this one or the next one, I think. It's like around this is where my knowledge, if I had any to begin with, ends. Oh, I forgot to read it. Oh, there's really nothing to read, is there? It's a pretty clutter-free title now that I'm looking at it. Like, it doesn't have introducing the deadly, dastardly, dubious stranger. Like, there's none of that. It's just X-Men introducing the stranger. Eh, just kind of a lame cover overall. X-Men, the most unusual teenagers of all time. No, you're not seeing things. This title means what it says. The triumph of Magneto. Liars. Introducing the, see, this is what I was expecting to be on the cover. Introducing the new, startling, staggering menace of the Stranger. Who's speaking right now? Angel. Cyclops, we received your emergency alarm. What's Professor X working on? What happened? Quiet, Angel. You and the others gather around. He'll explain. Hey. What are you trying to do to me? There we go. It must be his new radar image beam. It converts radar blips into pictures of the object. Ugh, I was afraid we were being attacked. If you have located a hitherto undiscovered mutant, Professor, that means we X-Men must reach him before he can be recruited by Magneto. You're right, Jean. I'll use this beam to detect the presence of other mutants. I'm getting a new image now. Look, the image is about to take shape. But what? Something is happening. What was that blast? A wave of Sheer force is fighting the image beam. The picture won't take form. But how can that be? Look out, something has to give. The image exploded, it's gone. Do you realize what this means? Somewhere within range of my detective devices, a super-powered being exists. A being so powerful that my image beam was shattered before it could project its picture. This means that whoever or whatever he may be, he's probably the most dangerous mutant we've ever faced. That's a lot of assumptions. They're probably not wrong, but then why are we procrastinating? We've heard the clarion call to battle. Let us sally forth and slay some dragons. If our enemies could be beaten by words, Hank, you could win every fight single-handed. Why does he bother wearing boots? Why the booties? Why? I think they just wanted him to be color coordinated with the rest of the team. But I don't know. It's like being, I don't know. I just can't explain it. It's just dumb looking. Words alone are not my sole stock in trade, you jocular juvenile. Let it never be said that the beast is not a fighter par excellence. Watch me take down that clown. Watch me take that clown down a peg, gang. Dad Zeus, who coated that corner of the room with ice? Slope. Just that little old frostpot, me. Isn't he too smart to be asking a question like that? Gee, I wonder which ice-themed person could have left this all slick. Random in this room. Better stop our high-flying friend telekinetically, Gene, before he goes sailing through a wall. Will do, Scotty. Desist, female. This is an affront to my dignity. Female. See, like the original Andrew Tate, this beast? Even upside down, you're a mess. Let him down gently, Jane. That will be enough horseplay, Bobby, and all of you. McCoy might have been injured by your prank. I'll ask you to conserve your talents and energies for more important work. Sorry, sir. I guess we just got carried away. But now, let us turn to a small furnished room not far away. This room suits my purposes. I shall take it. I've rented rooms to weirdos before, but that one takes the cake. Look, Pearlie, I'm glad you're satisfied, but I'll expect a full week's scratch in advance. Scratch? How square can you be? You know, cabbage, jack, moolah, dough, the rents. Wow, this is like a hip, older lady, I guess. Oh, you mean money. He's not doing himself any favors with those eyebrows and mustache. Well, aren't you the bright boy? Forgive me, I'm a stranger here and not yet familiar with your idioms of speech. But if money is what you want, here, take what you need, and now be good enough to never enter this room again until I have checked out. Good day to you, madam. Just pulls out a fist full of... What if those are just dollar bills, though? Like, what if that's just $50? I'm assuming by her face that's more than $50, hopefully. Sometime later, the stranger leaves his room and joins the milling crowd in the streets below. I must familiarize myself with this city and with its people. The traffic is too heavy. It takes too long to cross these busy thoroughfares. Thoroughfares. These busy thoroughfares. That is a new one to me. Thoroughfares. I marvel at the patience of those people, the way they stand and wait for the traffic to stop. But I cannot bear to waste time so needlessly, not when it is so easy to merely walk over the traffic. Look, that man, he's walking up thin air. I've seen all kinds of nutty publicity stunts, but that one is the most. Maybe he's walking on invisible glass. He's probably wearing some kind of helium belt or something. Look how he just stands there like there's nothing to it. Everyone is staring at me. I'm causing too much of a commotion. I'd better get away from them as soon as possible. I detest inquisitive crowds. Why is something attracting me to this particular building, this particular wall? Someone get a doctor. Women are fainting like flies around here. Why would women be fainting? Was that ever a real thing? Or were people just constantly suffering heat strokes? I've just never seen anyone faint from the shock of it, you know? I don't know. I feel I am being irresistibly drawn towards what? There are others here watching as though they expected me. Welcome. I am Magneto. My followers and I have been waiting for you. Meanwhile, the Uncanny X-Men have begun their own search for the superpowered being whose presence in the city had been detected by Professor X. Holy cow, who's that? Forgive me for startling you, but have you seen anything strange from your vantage point lately? Mister, I'm looking at the strangest thing I ever saw or ever hope to see. I've circled over the city twice, and still no trace of my quarry. It's a strange feeling to search for someone without knowing whom you're seeking. I hope the others are having better luck. And speaking of the others, I tell you, over a dozen people swore they saw some joker walking on air. That's okay, but what about them saying he walked right through a building wall? A lead at last. It must be him. Can you describe the man you were referring to? Why are you so interested, Farah? Who are you? Never saw you around this beat before. Why, on the dark glasses on a cloudy day like this, we've got orders to investigate anyone suspicious. Let's have a look at you without the cheaters, pal. No, I can't take my glasses off. Don't ask me. It's impossible. Now look, mister, all we want to do is see if we recognize you from anywhere. And only a guy on the lam would be so scared of removing his glasses. Now, come on, get those things off. Okay, Charlie, I got his specs. Now take a look at it. What's that? Stand back. Stand back. Wait. Back. Stand back. Keep away from me if you value your lives. I tried to warn you. Now I got it. He's one of the X-Men. He must be the mutant called Cyclops. I've got to grope for my specially treated glasses. No matter how tightly I keep my eyes shut, some of my power rays keeps getting through. So, is he immune to his own blast? Because if you're firing a concussive blast out of your face, you put your hand over your eyes, wouldn't you just blast your hand off? So, he's immune, I guess? Is that what's going on? I mean, I guess if his eyelids can block it, it would stand to reason his hands could, right? Questions for later. His eyes are like living disintegrator beams. They shatter whatever the ray touches. No wonder he wouldn't remove his glasses. My gun! He accidentally hit it, cut through it like a knife through butter. He's more dangerous than the ones we're looking for. Okay, yeah, so in theory, he should be blasting off his fingers and his entire meat hook there. If it's doing that to a gun. But I'm going to assume that's part of his power set, immune to own blast, which would make sense, because how would his eyelids block anything? But a split second later, I found my protective lenses at last. Now to what? The beast? You got me in the nick of time, Hank. I assumed that the minions of the law had enough to do without you adding to their burdens. I know, look at him sit on him like Superman. That's a thing. That is a thing to see. Now hold on tight while I bring you to join Iceman. Hurry, Hank. I think I have a lead as to where the new mutant is, and what his powers are. Look at that ice cylinder up ahead. It must be Bobby's. Without a moment's hesitation, the two daring X-Men plummet headlong into the tall, hollow tube of ice that has suddenly sprouted up in front of them. Hang on, Scotty. We're taking the plunge. I see them below, Iceman and Marvel Girl standing by. As soon as you land, duck, so I won't come crashing down on top of you, Hank. No danger of that, Scotty. The kid turned it into a flying slide. Okay, Genie Gal, you can slow us down telekinetically now. Oh, now you want it. Are you sure she's not this annoying female that's always, saving her life annoyingly? What an asshole. I'll do my best, Hank. Good girl, Jean. I was wondering what would slow us down when we hit bottom. Pro tip, fellow man, nobody likes being called a good girl, except for this freak. Somehow, when he says good girl, it's better than Richard Chamberlain saying, my darling. Just think about if it was in reverse. Would you want to be called good boy? Oh, good. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy, Bravo and JD? Who's a good boy? Who knows how to read the comics? You know how to read the comics. Yeah, see, no one likes that shit. Bobby, ever since you stopped your childish hijinks, you've become positively masterful with your ice power. Now, let's get some X-Men music going there. Thanks, Jean, but I'm not done yet. Iceman, I have a good idea where our mutant is. But I need a place to stand above the ground where I can study the nearby buildings. I sort of expected that you'd ask. It'll only take just a sec. I'll build you a stairway of ice. It'll give you cold feet, but it ought to do the trick. And at that moment, you want me to join you? I do not understand. I am a stranger here. Who are you and why should I join you? We'll show you. Watch. Every object in the room flying into the air, wrapping itself around me as though they are all living things. This is why you must join us, because I am power. I shall one day reduce the human race to slavery, so that Homo Superior can take over, and those who serve me shall reap the rewards. Good, Mr. Good. Each one of us here, each of us has a mutant power of his own. If Magneto is done with you, Mastermind shall give you a demonstration. With a single gesture, Mastermind creates one of his incredible illusions, as the stranger seems to find himself at the ocean's bottom. What happened? Where am I? Suddenly, the illusion changes, and the bewildered stranger seems to find himself standing helplessly within a sea of smoky lava. I have seen enough. They must be made to realize that I may not be toyed with in such a manner. It is now time for me to give an example of my power. Power that none can even suspect. In one brief microsecond, Mastermind's illusion is completely dispelled as the stranger admits a sudden blast of energy that severs his bonds and makes a shambles of Magneto's temporary headquarters. Get wrecked. But the largest part of his rage is directed against Mastermind. Afraid? Turning Mastermind into a solid block of matter. That solid matter, his weight is so greatly increased that not even the building's floor can hold him. Magneto! Magneto, save us! Crash! Good heavens, what was that? Help, police! Something came crashing down from the ceiling, going through the very floor. Help before we're all killed. Did you hear that? It came from the area the man who walked on air was reported in. We've got to reach him before anyone else does, especially Magneto. Let's go. This must be the place. Some tremendous force actually shattered the brick wall. It's one of the X-Men. Some brave, fantastic menace must be waiting inside. Let's stand around and watch. Magneto, so you're the one responsible. The Angel, you dare attack us on our home grounds? This time you will surely taste defeat. Maybe so, but I'll make sure that you taste it with me. Quicksilver, use your speed to stop him. Ah! Good work. You smashed him in before he could think to flap a wing. Now, finish him off. No matter how fast he is, one punch is all it'll take to... where'd he go? Do not toy with him, Quicksilver. Finish him. He's not a killer. Which, lucky for us, because Quicksilver can easily kill most people, in a second. He's just not that bloodthirsty. Very, very lucky for good guys. Because I think there's a story, where Apocalypse takes over the Earth after, shutting down all technology. And he uses the Purple Man to control Quicksilver, and he, breaks a bunch of people's necks or something in, 2 seconds. It's good stuff. With my great speed, it's almost too easy. His flapping wings unexpectedly deflected my blow. Okay, fella, if that's how you want it, my wings against your speed. Hold it, Angel. I'll slow him down so you can handle him with no sweat. Ice forming on Petro's body. No, no! Thanks, partner, but I still think I could have taken him alone. Well done, Stripling. I'll mobilize him now. But, at that moment, the Scarlet Witch makes an ominous gesture. No, none shall harm my brother while I still possess my hex power. I can't maintain my equilibrium. Something has thrown me off balance. Let go of me, you big ape. I'm no doormat. Meanwhile, I can't get at Magneto. He's formed some sort of magnetic shield around himself and that other character. My magnetic shield will keep us safe. I need no such shield. Now I shall depart in my own manner. No, not yet. Not till you vow to join me. I cannot permit the X-Men to get to you. You may join me if you wish. Step into my cone of energy. Master, wait! Wait for the Toad! Magneto vanished and now the Toad is disappearing. I hear a sound like the rushing of a mighty air current towards a wall, but I can't see anything. They've gone, but where? How? Seconds later, the invisible cone of energy whirls past Cyclops and Marvel Girl, completely unnoticed. Stay behind me, Jean. Whatever's waiting up there, let me face it first. Hey. This is the place. Angel, are you there? What happened? Careful, Scott. Some terrible power must have been unleashed in there. And if anything happened to you, my darling, I couldn't bear it. God, they are so horny for each other. I'm going to be lurking on the side while working on some things. Was losing Rivals games till now, but I like your outro music. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love my lurkers too, by the way. I will never say no to a lurk. Then suddenly, Cyclops sees. The Scarlet Witch is hexing the entire ceiling down on me. Good work, partner, but you can't keep that up forever. Shut your eyes, X-Men. What? It will be a pleasure to oblige. This will take care of that useless debris, and then we can get on with the business at hand. My compliments, Psych. How does it feel to be a human garbage disposal unit? Damn. Fucking rude. Jean, wait! What are you doing? Something I've wanted to do for a long time. I want to match my telekinetic power against the Scarlet Witch's hex power. By keeping her busy ducking flying objects, she won't have time to focus a hex on any of us. On you? Do you think you are of any interest to me? Do not flatter yourselves. All I care about is the welfare of my brother. He must be unfrozen before it is too late. I didn't aim to harm him, just stop him. Stay back. I'll help him. Petro, speak to me, Petro. Nobody speak. I must concentrate completely. Easy, easy. Only enough power to disintegrate the frost. If I miscalculate, even by a hair's breadth, it could be fatal to him. There, that should do it. So that's neat. He can kind of like put his beam on such a wide and I guess weak blast where he could just like evaporate moisture on you. I suppose. but it's supposed to be a concussive blast. So is he blasting the frost staff then? 3D camera. Now what will we do with them? You need do nothing with us ever again. We have served Magneto for the last time. I don't believe you. Wanda is right. We owed him a debt, but it has been repaid many times over. We shall serve him no longer. I always felt you didn't belong with his evil band of mutants. But before another word can be uttered, Cyclops, we've searched the entire place. Magneto and the others have vanished. The Angel's conclusion is entirely correct, disappointing though it may be. Where could they have gone with that new mutant? The new mutant, Professor X said he was the most powerful of all. If Magneto has enlisted him on his side, then our mission is a total failure, unless we can even the odds by having the two of you join the X-Men. No, we have had enough of conflict. But the cause we fight for is a just one. The way she looks at him, as though she too, oh no, it can't be. Wow. So as soon as another woman has the potential to join the team, of course her first thought is, my dick. That's my dick. Terrible. Terrible. So, bad on her, and I don't know if I'm going to criticize the writing quite yet. Because she is super horny for him, so. But if this keeps being a reoccurring theme, like, not all women hate each other in the workplace, I'm just saying. Your words have the ring of truth to them, if only. No, my sister, it is I who give the orders now. Okay, you fucking creep. We shall return to our home in Central Europe and forget the endless battle of the mutant against mutant. But someday, we may return. Someday the fate of mankind may hinge upon our entering the battle once more. You are grown adults holding hands, I'm just saying. Nobody's that into each other as brother and sister. Unless it's like Game of Thrones, which, different universe, not this one. Like, they do hook up in a different universe. Totally didn't bang in this one, though. Totally. Meanwhile, the stranger's cone of energy comes to a halt deep within a lonely wooded area. We have journeyed far enough. Prepare for dissolvement. Dissolvement? This is the moment when my energy cone dissolves into nothingness, into the nothingness it came from. Tell me, who are you? Exactly what power do you possess? You seem to be almost as mighty as I. Almost the equal of Magneto. Are you merely a stranger? Make him tell you what his power is, Master. Make him tell. Silence, Toad. Now listen. I am master of my band of mutants. When I ask, others answer. Even you. Now, what is your mutant power? Arrogant fool, I am no mutant. As for my power, it is greater by far than even you. Okay, let's try that again. As for my power, it is greater by far than can even, one more time. As for my power, it is greater by far than you can even imagine. You're growing, getting larger right before my eyes, but you can't be a giant, man. That's a good reference. I told you, I am a stranger, but now I am stranger. But I am a stranger different from any you have ever known. Far, far different. Toad, come back. I am still master here. I am still Magneto. Huh. Actually listens. You know, like, I know it'll never get picked up again, but I really appreciated in an earlier story, they hinted that Toad might be brainwashed by Magneto. Like a prototype brainwashing. So much of what Toad does makes sense if they actually, cared about that little line they dropped. I don't think that they're ever going to bring it up again, but I like the idea that Toad isn't necessarily a true believer, but, just brain damaged. Your size cannot defeat me. I possess the power of magnetism. I am supreme, yet you shall serve me. Save us, Master. Do not let the stranger harm us. I grow weary of your words. I shall place this thin film of anti-magnetic membrane over you to quiet you. I'll destroy you for this. Those who do not serve me must die. Master, what has he done to us? I cannot move. At that moment, back at X-Men headquarters, we found Mastermind in the cellar, sir. It took all of us to carry him. He's alive, but something has altered the very molecules of his body. Honestly, they should have just turned him into dust right there. That creep is one rapey bastard. It could only have been the one we're seeking. Do you think he's as dangerous as Magneto himself, sir? Dangerous as Magneto? The one we seek has power enough to shake the universe. Magneto is but a child compared to the stranger. We must find him at once. It almost sounds like he's kind of afraid for Magneto a little bit there. Within minutes, a helicopter takes to the air, guided by the most brilliant mutant brain of all time, the brain of Professor Xavier. Wow, the Blackbird was definitely an upgrade later on. Fly due west. I can mentally receive his emanations as though an arrow in my mind is pointing to him. Wait, is Professor X on it? Or I thought he was just controlling the helicopter. Because he has that ability somehow. Like he can connect his brain to a computer and then pilot stuff. He did it once. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, okay, so that was Professor X. Fly due west. I can mentally receive his emanations as though an arrow in my mind is pointing to him. Then, after a few minutes of speedy flight, go, my X-Men. You will find him just ahead. But guard yourselves at all times. We know he has a chair that is motorized. We know this. From issue 9. He went spelunking by himself. He does not need this chair. Just saying. Look, Magneto and the Toad, wrapped up in some sort of cocoons. Anyone strong enough to treat Magneto so cavalry will give us the fight of our lives. Iceman, do you see any signs of the stranger? Not yet, Psyche, but he must be around here somewhere. Stop. Don't any of you touch those cocoons, any of you. Back. Back if you value your lives. Some strange force shooting out. Look at Magneto's face here. He is completely mortified. It's great too because he's always going on I am Magneto. I will rule the world and turn humanity into slaves. Like, this is nice to see. That face is just utter, like, how can this be? Why me? Then, at that second, the stranger again appears. Those cocoons will protect them for the journey they are about to take. I can guess the journey you refer to. Its destination is no place on Earth, is it? Oh wait, no, that was Professor X, I guess. I can guess the journey you refer to. Its destination is no place on Earth, is it? Of course not. Have I not said I am a stranger? A stranger from the stars. My people are greatly interested in mutations. I journey from planet to planet, taking specimens of mutants back to my world for study. I did not know whom to take from Earth. But then, the one who calls himself Magneto insisted I ally myself with him. And so, I choose to take him, and the other whose loyalty is so touching. We shall never return! This is one of the last comics I left off of originally when I read these back in the day. And I just remember thinking like, okay, so it was an alien, and now he's just gone. He's just gone. Alien took Magneto, that's it. I mean, obviously he's not gone forever, but it's just such a like, LOL what moment, you know? I don't know, I think it's really strange. They're gone. It happened so suddenly, so unexpectedly, I never imagined it would end like this. Yeah, see, even he's like, what the fuck just happened? Magneto gone, at last, at long last. He wanted to find the stranger before we did, and he succeeded. He thought he had beaten us, but it turned out to be Magneto's final triumph. Will this mean disbanding the X-Men, sir? Of course not. There will still be many menaces for mankind for us to face. Okay. Of course not. There will still be many menaces to mankind for us to battle. What's going on here? We heard an explosion. There was a blinding flash of light, and then, hey, it's the X-Men! Beast, slow them down. They mustn't see me. My identity must not be made public. I'll handle it with dispatch, sir. It's using that word right. Stop! We want to talk to you! Watch it, boys. He's up to something. Holy smoke, did you see him spin around? He almost has a hypnotic effect. Beast, slow down. We weren't aiming to hurt you. I should hope not. I'm far too lovable to become a statistic. Easy, Professor. You'll be safely aboard in a second. Again, he has technology. He does not need this old shitty-looking chair. Thank you, boys. Now summon the beast. Okay, you animated jumping bean. The professor says all aboard. Watch it, Bobby. Duck your head. Take her up, Angel. Hank's hanging on outside. Head back for the school. What sheer stark drama. One ingrown toenail and I'd be a dead man. Not long afterwards. Ah, the old homestead. It'll be good to sit back and relax with a differential calculus problem for a few hours. Alright, we get it, you're smart. But before any serious relaxing is attempted, the X-Men adopt their usual precautionary security measures. My wall soundings are complete, sir. No hitting mics, wires, or any such devices. My intuitive brain senses no unexpected danger. All that remains is Angel's visual report. All clear as far as I can see, sir. Very well, then. Let us proceed. I mean, I guess that's kind of smart, knowing, like, how fucked up their universe is. Moments later, in the study of Professor Xavier. Before dismissing you, Scott, I thought we would remove some names from our Cerebro machine. I see, Professor. You feel that certain menaces to mankind can now be considered disposed of? Exactly. He did make little special name things for them. See, because in earlier comics, I couldn't tell if that was like a screen that like knew the names of mutants and like he had just little screens for each one, but this makes more sense. I'm glad they explained it, sort of. It matters to no one but me. It's been a long and hard road, Cyclops, for all of you, but you have acquitted yourselves with honor. But suddenly, before another word could be uttered, beep, 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 beep. Professor, what's happening? Cerebro has detected a new menace. I've never seen a mere electronic device register such extreme condition of panic. Every circuit is strained to the breaking point. That's not how machines work. Whatever, okay. Beep, beep, beep. Whatever it is that's out there threatening us, it is the most powerful, most deadly danger we have ever faced, and it's almost upon us. The end. Thus, one strange saga comes to an end as another still stranger one begins. This tale has marked a turning point in the lives and destinies of the X-Men, and beginning next issue, fate has many new and unexpected pitfalls that await them. So watch for X-Men number 12, filled with the mighty Marvel magic and stirring of the most unusual teenagers of all time. There we got it. Number 11. So, all right. I don't know. I don't, like, aside from Magneto being randomly kidnapped by an alien, like, this was a nothing comic to me. Like, I guess Quicksilver and Wanda are free to do whatever now, so that's nice. But, yeah, I don't know. It just felt like they just didn't want to deal with Magneto anymore, so they just... Like, if he just went underground, like, I don't think anyone would have asked any questions. I don't know that they needed to take him to space to take him off the board. I don't know. I do know that the Stranger gets a little more explanation much further down the line. Like, I don't think I'm pretty sure he's not like a Beyonder or anything like that. I'm not going to click on it because I don't want to ruin it for myself. I could just click on the character and look it up, but I'm going to hold on to the mystery for a little while. I'm going to let my knowledge of future events confuse me. But number 11. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But is this the first comic where they have Angel up there on top of every issue? Because I remember seeing that like in a lot of media back in the day. I guess they've always done it. Okay, so after 2, that's when they start doing it. Time to read that. Oh, I definitely got time for another one. All right, so number 12. We got the return, or not the return, but the Juggernaut. I'm assuming that's the threat that they were detecting at the end of the last comic there. So, first appearance of the Juggernaut. Right on. Wonder if I wonder if this is his first ever, or if they like reappropriated him from another comic book. Curious. That happens every so often. Yep, so that's his first appearance. So I know he's sometimes a Spider-Man villain too, so I wouldn't have been surprised if like Spider-Man, an older Spider-Man comic was like his first appearance or something. But that is not the case. Released May 4th, 1965. Same old crew, except we got a different inker this time around. Actually, no, we got an extra penciler too. So we got the writer and editor, this Stan Lee, penciler Jack Kirby with Alex Toth. Helping out, I guess. I don't know. Vince Coletta, it's a newer inker that we haven't seen yet. Letterer Sam Rosen. So there we go. And I noticed there wasn't any strangely colored chat bubble or dialogue bubbles. I wonder why they did that in issue 10. Like they just randomly had some pink, some yellow. Strange. They didn't do it before. I doubt they'll do it after. All right, let's take a good look at this cover here. Just take in the art. You gotta appreciate all the fine details. Now this is a comic book cover. This is just like, it's a hell of an entrance. Yeah, I dig it. The X-Men, the origin of Professor X, again, featuring the almost indescribable menace of the Juggernaut. X-Men, the most unusual teenagers of all time. The origin of Professor X. Professor, we heard that blood-curdling noise. What's wrong? Are you in danger? The sound emanating from his desk. There's some sort of electronic apparatus secreted within. My ears, the screech is deafening. What isn't? I've never seen Professor X look so desperately fearful before. Stay out, all of you. No one is supposed to know about the Professor Cerebro machine. It's all right, Cyclops. Let them enter. We're about to face our most deadly threat. We can have no secrets from each other now. We've got a startling, sizzling tale to tell you and no time to waste with a long introduction. So let's go. We'll brief you along the way. See, let's go has been a time-honored phrase. What is it, Professor? What danger do we face, and what does Cerebro mean? It's the only machine of its kind in existence. It gives warning of any mutant menace which may be near. So, how does it detect intention? As well as like power levels? Does it work with his brain, or is it just technology? So many questions. But it has never reacted like this before. The menace we face must be indescribably powerful. There is only one who could cause such a reaction. There is only one who could cause such a reaction. Quickly, you must do as I say. Beep, beep. I'm assuming it's just making loud beeping sounds. A moment later, having received their orders, the marvelous mutants race into action. Judging by the professor's agitation, our very existence is at stake. Is that really the best way to go outside right now and move that spool of wire or rope? Take it seriously, Beast. Come on. Also, leaving an ice trail everywhere you go, like he started that from inside the house, inside the mansion. So there's a long trail of like water everywhere he goes. If they have wooden floors, they got to be fucked. I don't know what it is that he fears, but it must be something terrifying. He never seemed this worried when we battled Magneto's evil mutants. Whatever it is, we can handle it. Stop talking. Move. You each know what to do. This ice shield I'm putting up around the school ought to stop anything short of a Sherman tank. While Iceman prepares a defense outside the school walls, I'll blast a deep trench inside the wall, using my power beam's highest intensity. Slow down, Hank. I can't keep up with you. You're doing just great. You're doing just fine, Jean. Keep teleporting those leaves and twigs over this cable so that our unknown attacker won't suspect the booby trap we're laying. See, now they're using teleport wrong again. Like, they did this in, like, the comic with the blob, where they keep saying the word teleport. I think it was the one with the blob. I don't know, it bothers me. It's not wrong, but I'm pretty sure anyone, even back then, when they think of teleporting, they think, like, instantaneous one place to another. Not like, I'm gonna teleport myself to the fridge and then walk over, teleport a beer into my hand out of the fridge, teleport the door closed. You see what I'm saying? Like, the word loses all meaning. Whatever. That's my rant today. Angel, come here. I need you. Zap. That's it, Warren. Hold those logs while I hollow them out with my power blast. This is the last of them, Psych. Now I'll get the grenades. They have grenades? Why do they have grenades? How did they get these logs? Do they just cut them down near the property? This is... I mean, it's creative what they're doing, but it's also like... This is like some Home Alone type stuff, but with grenades. I don't know. Got mixed feelings. The professor didn't say what kind of grenades these are. Do you think... No time for guessing. We're almost done now. So they could just be like flash grenades. They look like pineapple grenades, but who am I to judge? Exactly 5 minutes later, the X-Men return, having completely fortified and booby-trapped the mysterious building. The screeching sound has stopped. Does that mean the danger's past? No, the professor's merely turned off the Cerebro machine. It's time for you. Well done, my X-Men. Come in. Make noises. It's time for you to learn more of the danger that threatens us. Is it one of the evil mutants we fought in the past, sir? No, I only wish it were. I hoped you'd never have to learn of this enemy, for his power may exceed my own. The one who is about to attack us is my own brother. Your brother? I never mentioned him before. Perhaps I hoped I would never have to mention him. But now that we all share the same moment of crisis, I owe it to you to tell you the whole story, to take you back with me, in your imagination, to the beginning. Imagine a special effects. We're going to the past thing happening. It started with an atomic blast years ago at Alamogordo, New Mexico. I'll never forget that fateful Holocaust, for my father was killed in the blast. And so we commit Brian Xavier to the earth. If only Dad had been able to escape the blast, the way Dr. Marco did. Oh, wow, this is way more involved than I thought. As far as, because in the cartoon, which is the origin that sticks with me the most, they just cut in after his dad is dead and they've already hooked up and living together, basically. So I like that what's being implied here, that for all we know, this doctor got his dad killed and then fucked his wife. So that's some pretty devious shit, man. I know how you must feel, Sharon, and I share your grief. But as his friend, I shall look after you, and after the boy, too. Thank you, Kurt. You are very kind. Even though he was Dad's fellow scientist, I never trusted Dr. Marco, and I don't trust him now. My dear Sharon, I would gladly have given my own life to save Brian's, if only it were possible. Kurt, you're such a tower of strength for me at a time like this. He lies. He might have saved Dad, but he saved himself instead. But months later, Marco persuaded my grief-stricken mother that I needed a father to take care of me, and although it filled my heart with a nameless dread, they were finally married. Yeah, because I remember in the cartoon, he didn't really seem to have many feelings about his stepdad. So, I like these added layers. I appreciate this. Your new father has kindly agreed to live in our old home, Charles, for your sake. Oh, he graciously decided to live in a mansion in New York City? Oh my goodness, what a kind, thoughtful guy. Yeah, your mother is a fool. He may fool Mother, but not me. I know this is what he wanted. Mother's wealth and position and property. Yeah, it seems fairly obvious, but I guess she's a lonely, desperate, pathetic woman. Even as a boy, my mutant brain let me sense secrets which were locked in the minds of others. At last, now I have everything I've always dreamed of. Money, power, that's all he really cares about. And as time went by, I told you to never disturb me when I'm at work. But Kirk, I hardly ever see you anymore. I've been a fool. You've never really cared for me. You just wanted the power our wealth can bring you. Thoughts you should have had before you got married. And why not? Ever since I can remember, your husband had everything. Fame, success, the admiration of the world, while I was a nobody. But things are different now. Don't, Kurt. You're frightening Charles. What do I care about him? The son of my former marriage is coming home tomorrow. Hello, Adam. I do good. How you do? I'm just having fun being goofy and reading some comics. Nothing too crazy. I first laid eyes on my stepbrother that next day. He had no superpower then, nothing but an aura of sheer cruelty and thinly disguised evil. Slam! Take my bags upstairs and don't drop them. You must be my new stepbrother. Wipe that stupid look off your face. I like how all these more classic villains seem to have almost like a pig, like a fucking snout. That is a snout if I ever saw one. Glad to hear. I'm pretty well, thanks for asking. I think it's going okay. I get by. Let's see. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, I just got expelled from school. I decided there wasn't anything else those creeps could teach me. Here, Squirt, look at my hand. I'll show you a trick. Jesus Christ, what an asshole. Ah, that'll teach you not to stand around with your dumb-looking face hanging out. What? So, typical brother stuff. He sounds extremely unsavory, sir, but what makes him so dangerous to us now? After all, he has no superpower. He had none then, but later... Wait, let me check Cerebro again. He looks more worried than ever. He's even closer. The sound is getting unendurable. His power must be greater than it was. Greater than I feared. Cerebro is almost tearing itself apart. What is his power, Professor? That's the sound the alarm makes. That's the sound I make when things bother me. No time for that now. He's reached the first barrier. Quick, to the window. I try to stream, Monday through Friday. Try to be as consistent as I can be. Listen, it's the sound of ice being shattered. He's smashing Bobby's frozen wall. Kaboo or rumble something. I can't read the whole sound effect. What about you, Ella? What kind of streaming do you usually watch when you're watching? I made it as thick as concrete bunker. Nothing could shatter it that quickly. Give us the word, sir. We'll attack him. Where am I from? I'm in the US of A. In Colorado. It's been a little chilly lately. What about you, Ella? From where do you hail from? No, not yet. You can't begin to imagine what you'll be facing. It is nice. Nice mountains, nice people. Can't complain. Close enough to a big city. I got everything I need in Colorado. Good marijuana, good cheap marijuana. Look out! The entire building is beginning to shake. It's collapsing. And he's only using a fraction of his true power. Oh, thank you, Ella. I appreciate that. Texas. Yeah, I got a few viewers from Texas. I noticed that there's a lot of artists I get from Texas too. Bobby, quick! Form an ice shield over Gene. Move, X-Men. I hear you talking, Oh wait, that was Cyclops. Bobby, quick! Form an ice shield over Gene. Move, X-Men. I hear you talking, Psych. Woof! Just made it. I didn't see that falling chandelier if not for Iceman. Clack! Are you into comic books, Ella? Do you like comic books? You a Marvel or a DC person? Maybe you're a wild card and go for indie comics? Boom! Crack! Listen, the remainder of the ice wall is being torn apart. I seem to see a figure out there, but it's so indistinct I can't make it out among all the rubble. Oh, that's probably not Charles, because he knows who it is. I have no idea who's speaking. He did it! The ice wall is gone. He's destroyed the first barrier. Boom! But how? What power did he use? The school stopped shaking. Why? What is he up to now? He's just toying with us. He's showing his contempt for our defenses. Shouldn't we rush out and fight him now, before he comes closer? No, there's still time. Time for me to tell you more about how it all began. I don't think there's time, dude. If you're the building is actively falling apart around you, it might be time to do something. I think you should get some dope stuff for your stream to get more followers and viewers. Well, I'm always making new stuff, Ella. But if you happen to be in the business of selling services, I do not need them right now. Thank you very much. Or maybe I need them. I just not interested. Could be a little bit of both. It wasn't long before my heartbreaking mother shut her eyes for the last time, joining her first husband, my father, forever. And so I was alone with them. It wasn't long before my heartbroken mother shut her eyes for the last time. So I want to say in the cartoon she might have been sick. In this, it kind of low-key sounds like she fucking killed herself. Or like, she died like Padme, like she lost the will to live. Where do these artist farms come from? Yeah, they don't have you like locked in a Texas basement, do they? Just pumping out art. Blink twice if you're okay, Ella. I told you not to disturb me when I'm at work. I'll leave as soon as you give me the money I asked for. You can afford it now. You inherited everything. With Mother gone, Marco controls my inheritance till I come of age. The answer is no, Kane. If you want money, go out and earn it as I did. What a stupid piece of shit. Yeah, go marry a widow after you fucked over her husband. I know how you earned it. It was no accident that Xavier died at Alamogordo. You dare accuse me? Don't you ever say that again, do you hear? For as long as I live, don't you ever say that again. You're too late. I heard him. What did he mean by that? What really happened to my father during the atom bomb test? Nothing. Nothing at all. He was just joking. He didn't realize what he was saying. I realized plenty. No bratty stepbrother is gonna cause any trouble now. Kane, don't touch those test tubes. They're unstable, explosive. You young fool. It's too late now. You've spilled them. If the different chemicals should touch each other. Splat. Look out! But before another word could be said, the potent fluids did make contact, and that was the last I knew, as the deafening explosion destroyed the lab and all its contents. It was then my stepfather did the one unselfish deed of his life. Although fatally injured himself, he managed to carry Kane and me to safety as the life ebbed out of him. And then, with his last remaining breath, he gasped. Charles, your father's death was an accident, but I might have saved him if I tried, but I didn't. Forgive me. Beware of Kane when he finds out about your power. Oh, look at that. So there was something in there after all. I can appreciate that. He'll never be a good person, but he is a person. Power? Because there's a couple things going on here, Like, he clearly has some kind of regret. He feels very sensitive about that, even the idea that he killed his father, Brian. He knows his son is a shitheel, so he tried to warn him. Just a man filled with guilt. It's like he must have thought that once he got everything he wanted, he was going to be happy with himself, but nope. Turns out a miserable piece of shit's going to be a miserable piece of shit no matter what. At least he had regrets. And then he died, but his words proved prophetic for, Professor, look! Out that window! That strange, dazzling light. What does it mean? He's reached the second barrier, an electromagnetic force field. It means he's fallen into the trench that Cyclops blasted into the ground outside. But the light is growing even more brilliant. The force field isn't stopping him. He's resisting it, trying to overcome it. I can see a figure out there. It's standing upright. It doesn't even seem to be hurt or weakened, and it looks enormous. Rackle. Zap. He isn't hurt, Gene. If he's lasted this long, it means the cable can't stop him. He's everything I feared he'd be. Oh, I know, this is the professor. I guess it was Gene talking before. It's impossible to tell with just chat bubbles. He isn't hurt, Gene, and if he's lasted this long, it means the cable can't stop him. He's everything I feared he'd be and more. He snapped the steel cable as easily as for paper, but in doing so, he released a still greater wave of energy designed to catch him unawares. Cerebro has grown no louder. The second line of electrical defense is holding, at least for now. Ring! Now all we need is more time. Time for me to tell you the whole story. I don't know that there's anything you could say that's gonna change how you deal with this dude. Professor, I've never seen you so grim before. Tell us, do we have a chance? Can he be beaten? Wait until I finished my tale, Hank, and then you can furnish your own answer. It wasn't long after Marco's death that I realized my brain possessed mutant powers. Oh yeah, that was another thing. His dad suspected maybe not that he was a mutant, but that he had powers. And, you know, say what you want about the dude, but he could have easily just sold him to some shitty science project, you know? So, good on him for not, like, fucking him over even more. What little credit you can give Brian Marco, I forget the Professor Marco, Dr. Marco. It's what little credit you can give him. Powers which must have been caused by all the radiation my parents had been exposed to at the Nuclear Research Center before I was born. Wouldn't that imply he's more of a mutate then than a mutant? Like, doesn't he have more in common with Deadpool if that's the case? Like his X gene was unlocked, he wasn't born with the powers, he had it unlocked. Food for thought. The only outward sign was the fact that I began to lose my hair while still in my teens. But more importantly than that was my fantastic ability to think. You have given me the answers I haven't taught you yet, Charles. It is as though you are actually reading my mind. Oh, I thought that was a chick. I guess that's a dude. Whatever. I said what I said. Oh no, sir. They were just lucky guesses. I must be more careful. No one must ever suspect that I can read minds. As I grew older, my ESP power made me excel at everything. I became a star quarterback because I always knew in advance what the enemy tackles were thinking. If only I dared tell them I can read their minds, but they'd hate me all the time too. Extra sensory perception, as if you didn't know. Stan. In case you don't know what ESP means. Man, weird how Ella kind of dropped off there. Hope she's doing okay. Even at the track, I had the advantage of knowing when an opposing runner was tiring or planning to make his last desperate spurt.
This will be my last race. It's too easy for a mutant to defeat a normal man.
So you figured that out by the time you were basically out of high school.
But all the while, Cain Marco was watching and hating, his jealous heart filled with almost uncontrollable envy.
Why did you continue to live with this fucking dope? Honestly. Do you get to the Cloud District? I'm assuming you mean Cloud District often. Is that what you're saying? Is that because of the Skyrim music? There's a if you're into weird music, Bravo, and you're into Elder Scrolls, look up Young Scrolls on YouTube someday. Young Scrolls. I listen to that music every so often. But they basically take a bunch of sound clips from old, but Elder Scrolls games and turns them into songs, music, really. Young Scrolls. Definitely give them a shot.
Another trophy for you, skinhead. If he suspected I could read his thoughts, but I've nothing to fear from him, yet. Get them out of here. I don't intend to look at him all day. He's eaten up with jealousy and envy. He can't control himself.
He's getting all red-faced like Daddy.
Finally, I could stand idly by no longer. Keep your hands off my trophies. I've had all I'm going to take from you. What? You creepy punk. I've been hoping for years that you'd try something like that. Now you've given me the excuse I wanted. First I'll smash your trophies to bits, just to show you I'm through fooling around. I can read his every thought. First he'll break my trophies, and then he'll beat me up. Walk. I don't want to fight him, don't want to hurt him, but I've no other choice. That finishes that. And now, little brother, it's your turn. Fact. No normal foe has a chance against a mutant who can read minds. You brought this on yourself.
He does a nice little karate chop. Nice James Bond karate chop.
Ugh. He got what he deserved, and he was certainly no match for your X-Power. But that's what tormented him. My powers were a shadow between us, a shadow which was to result in tragedy for both of us. I still don't get why he's such a danger to us now. You will, Bobby, if I have time to finish my tale. The final tragedy occurred when Cain offered to drive me to college after vacation. Hoping to win his friendship, I accepted, but then... You're driving like a madman. We'll never stay on the road. Oh, we won't, eh? You're better than I in sports, in studies, in almost everything. But now I've got the top hand. If I try to stop him, he might lose control. I'm gonna drive like this until you beg me to stop, till you cry out in fear. And then it happened. I didn't see the detour. Jump! But then it was too late for me. Although he would never know it, I'd used my own mental power to help Cain leap to safety, while I remained in the car a split second too long. Can't get out. Going over. That was that how you lost the loose use of your legs, Professor? No, that happened another time. My God, that's a lie too. This would have been a better origin for losing his legs, though. No, that happened another time at the hands of the man you know as Lucifer. I managed to survive the crash by harnessing my brain power to its fullest extent, by creating a mental shield around me. Though I was badly hurt, I lived. A mental shield. So, he has some telekinetic power then? What does that mean, a mental shield? Because, like, I've never seen him ever in my life use a mental shield outside of, like, literally defending against mental attacks. We'll figure it out later. But I'll never forget the shock, the pain of that terrible moment. But then suddenly, boom! Look out, the whole building is shaking. Quick, grab the professor, don't let him fall. Don't worry about me, I'm all right. The window. Look out of the window. It's impossible, incredible, inconceivable, and yet he did it. He broke through the force barrier. I see something moving. It's him. But look at the size of him. He doesn't even look human. Then, as the monstrous figure comes closer, they see he's heading for the hollow logs with the grenades in them. He tripped the release wire. He'll be stopped now. But if that doesn't hold him, what will? The grenades are shooting out of the logs like mortar shells. He's drawing back. Bullseye. They've loosed their sleep gas all around him. Why doesn't he fall? All it did was anger him. He's smashing them all with one blow. Now he's reached the second row. That gas is strong enough to stop a herd of elephants. Whoosh. He's staggering. He's falling back. We did it. If only we could see more clearly. And the smoke and haze are concealing him. I'll keep the gas out of this busted window with a coating of ice. I still don't understand. Cain Marco was just an ordinary, unsavory character. How did he become so powerful? The thing that threatened us out there is a far cry from the man who was once Cain Marco. He's still trying to get to us. What is he made of? Now I'll finish my tale, for I fear our time is running out. I owe it to you to tell you what you face, to tell you how Cain Marco got his power, the one power on Earth that may finally defeat us. The last time I ever saw him was in Asia, during the Korean War. We have been serving together until the day that Cain deserted under fire. Those shells are coming too close. I'll duck into this cave and sit the war out for a while. Nobody will ever find me in here. Cain, come back, you fool! That's a court-martial offense. Cain, don't do it! Rushing in after him, my heart seemed to stand still as I realized. It's the sacred lost temple of Sidorak. Legends have warned of it for centuries. No, don't touch it. Don't. It's funny how important Sidorak is becoming lately in Marvel Comics. That ruby, it looks alive. There's an inscription on it. But my warning was too late for Cain and for the world. Whosoever touches this gem shall possess the power of the crimson bands of Sidorak. Henceforth, you who read these words shall forevermore be a human juggernaut. Drop it, Cain, drop it. You don't realize what that means. Those desperate words were not yet out of my mouth when something's happening to me. I'm changing. Nothing can stop it now. Cain Marco no longer exists, and in his place, an evil human juggernaut has come into being. That explosion, the Reds are shelling this area, the cave is collapsing. I was nearer to the opening than he who had been Cain Marco, so I managed to escape by a hair's breadth, while the creature within the cave was buried beneath 1 trillion tons of falling rock and rubble. Even if the cave-in doesn't kill him, it will take years before he can dig out from beneath the gigantic mountain which covers him. But if ever he should break free, I can think of no power on earth capable of stopping him. And he'll find me. The crimson bands of Sidorak will lead him to me no matter where I may hide. So, again, it's hard to feel bad for a character like Cain Marco, because he's been such an unrelenting dick since you see him. But leaving a person trapped under rubble for potentially over a decade, think how bored you get standing in line at the supermarket. Imagine sitting there under rubble for 10 years. There's acting like a dick, and then there's actual evil, It's kind of evil to leave somebody trapped under rubble. That being said, he's also being possessed by some ancient evil power, so it's, I don't know. Maybe he thought it was a push, but kind of a dick move. Maybe he should have told, the Avengers about it or something at some point. He should have told somebody. But what was the Temple of Sidorak? And what is the power of the Juggernaut? Sidorak is the most mysterious of all deities of black magic. When he was finally driven from our own world, he left behind him the curse of the Juggernaut. I can see him. He's rising again, just as I feared he would. As for the power of the Juggernaut, I simply quote from the dictionary: a gigantic, inexorable force that moves onward irresistibly, crushing anything it finds in its path. Then that's why he gets through all our obstacles. Nothing can stop a Juggernaut. But how do you know it's him? It could be anyone. Only the Juggernaut could have made Cerebro shriek the way it did, and only the Juggernaut could prove invulnerable to all our defenses. But our next defense should stop him. It's the gas which causes loss of balance. Something tells me that Juggernaut is a lot more than just a man. Oh wait, I'm supposed to read that last. And without normal balance, a man must topple and fall. Something tells me that Juggernaut is a lot more than just a man. Cyclops, there is another precaution we've forgotten. Yes, I've just thought of it now too. Quick, raise the steel inner wall. Will do, with electricity. Electricity. Will do with all electricity, leader man. Let me do it. I'm fastest. Says who? I'll ice slide. I'll beat you easy. If you stalwarts insist on making it a race of it, don't discount the beast. Oh no, that'll carry me past the wall switch. Look out. Iceman, stay out of my way. This is no joke, Bobby. Who's in your way? Just fly over my head, Angel. Whoa. Angel, Beast, Iceman, every second counts. Get that wall raised. You heard the man. We're acting like a gaggle of irresponsible juveniles. There, now we can resume our little Donnybrook. I was hoping you'd say that, you big ape. Careful, you two. I've just had my wings curried. Seconds later, there she goes. Step aside, Bobby, while yours truly tested. Tested how? Like this, you snow-covering stripling. Rather you than me, Hank. Blanc. Youth. Nothing will penetrate that. But Professor Xavier is not quite that sure. Let us go to the front door. He is certain to attack at that point. How can you know that, sir? Because it is directly in line with the path he is making, and a juggernaut never changes its course for anything. You speak of him as he's a machine rather than a human being. I'm afraid, my dear Marvel girl, that he ceased being human many years ago, on that faithful day in the Temple of Sidorak. I think he's kind of just using that as a justification. I didn't leave a man buried for over 10 years. That was Sidorak. That was the Juggernaut. That was a monster. Kind of a shitty justification. Quiet. I hear dull, heavy footsteps through the steel door. He's almost upon us. Professor, if he should smash through this last steel barrier, can you stop him by mentally affecting his brain? A good question, Henry, but I've a bad answer. I've been trying to probe his mind since first he appeared, but it's useless. When he gained the staggering power of Sidorak, he also gained a mystical mental defense against which I am totally powerless. Look, the steel wall, it's bulging inward. It's buckling more and more with steady, ever-increasing increasing pressure. Now do you begin to conceive of the unimaginable power the Juggernaut possesses? Back, he's crashing through. That wall had 50 times the tensile strength of battleship steel. Don S. Excellent reading and exposition. Hope you do another video soon. Any good comics in the horror genre you recommend? Any Japanese manga horror, like the Japanese comic books, really good horror. One that's kind of relevant right now. It's not strictly like stab horror, but unemployment concentration camp. If you're able to find that online, give that a good read. It's very prophetic of the future, where we're heading. But thank you, Dot. I appreciate that. But he's splitting it apart. Peeling it apart just like a thin layer of plywood. Metal flies out, blocked by an ice shield. Bobby, we need a wall of... Oh wait, no, that's Professor X. Bobby, we need a wall of ice, fast, to protect us from flying shards of steel. But that's only a temporary expedient. True, it won't stop the Juggernaut. Clanch. He broke through. Yeah, the Japanese, when it comes to horror comic books, the Japanese do it best. Berserk is like my all-time favorite Japanese manga comic that is just straight up. It's like a combination of like Hellraiser and Lord of the Rings. I love Berserk. Now it is up to us. This is it. We're done with defenses. It's his power against ours now. No matter how unstoppable he is, we mustn't let him reach the Professor. Let's go. Hold it. Back, all of you. Let me give him a blast with my power beam first. It'll give us a measure of his strength. More, give him full intensity, Cyclops. I am, but it isn't stopping him. He's pushing my ray back as though it's a solid thing. No one of us can defeat him alone. We've got to rush him together now. It's no use. He swept us aside like paper dolls. But the professor, he's heading for the professor. I'm lashing out at him with every bit of mental power I possess, but still he comes. So, dear brother, we meet again. What a pity it is for the last time. Then it is true, King Marco has become a human juggernaut. Not gonna lie, they did a good job working up his silhouette and everything, but he looks like a dickhead in this panel. I'm just gonna say it. He looks like if a penis had dwarfism. Next issue, one of the greatest battles of all time, as the irresistible Juggernaut battles the unconquerable X-Men to the bitter end. You must not miss it. And that's it. Look at that. Number 12. Appearance of the Juggernaut. So I felt like they did a really good job building up this character in terms of like the power behind him. But once you get a good look at him, at least that last panel took a little bit away. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I got some trivia and some notes here. I think this will be my last comic for today. So tomorrow we're gonna try to get on Avowed as early as we can. Notes. Xavier and Kane enlisted in the military, fought in the Korean War. Due to Marvel's sliding timescale, this is considered a topical reference, with the two men having participated in the Scion-Con War instead. Okay, so in the future, whenever they update the time period to be more contemporary. Yeah, so they put him in a war that was sometime after the Korean War. So they kind of like split the difference, I suppose. Yeah, because it's weird to like have like the Korean War was only over a few years ago, you know, from the context of the comic. And like everybody is the same age by the time 9/11 happens. And 9/11 is canon to, you know, the Marvel universe. So makes sense that they would change up some details like that. Like I'm certain they're gonna change the idea that Professor X became a mutant because his parents were working on the atom bomb. Because that would only make sense if they were working during World War II. And again, by the time they are existing in more contemporary times, it doesn't make sense for everybody to be the age they are with the events that have happened. So I get the change. And that's even more further explained by the possibility with the Fantastic Four's child, Franklin Richards, him changing reality subtly all the time. So nobody ages, nobody dies. Somehow they exist in contemporary times despite people fighting in World War II, you know. So there's a lot of neat explanations that explain how things can exist. All the X-Men learn of Cerebro. Sotorect had been previously invoked in Doctor Strange. I was wondering that. I figured that was the case. So that's neat. Like the first time they invoke magic in X-Men, you know, they pull from Doctor Strange. I don't know if that was intentional at the time. It seems like it was. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Comic book was referenced in Marvel Avengers Alliance and was one of the comic book covers required in order to recruit Juggernaut to the game. Seems like pointless trivia. The name of the atomic test city is misspelled as Alamogordo instead of the correct name Alamogordo. So not Alamo.
Professor X, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So I think that's all the interesting trivia and whatnots we had there. So the first appearance of the Juggernaut. Didn't really get to see much of him, but I felt like they built him up pretty well. But we're going to end it a little early today, folks, because I'm not confident that I can finish this next comic book in the time frame that I'm wanting to. So I'm going to hop off now. But bravo, JD, Don, thanks for hanging out with me today and listening to an insane man try to voice act. It's always fun to have people around when I'm doing it. But as I say, whether you watch now or later, wherever you are, whenever you are, hang in there. The future can be good. I'm going to show you something else that could be good about the future potentially with The Vow tomorrow. Early access, baby. See you then. Peace.
Y'all listen up as I narrate the Vector's tale. A man from afar riding the temporal gale. Ronin by name and a Ronin by fate. In the tapestry of time he's got a date. He ain't just saving, he's exploring the rift. In the timelines he travels, he's given a lift. Seeking tech and secrets in a world that's gone astray. Ronin's the man who's gonna find a way. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. From a future so bright to our present so bleak, he's the silent watcher, the tech he does seek. Not just a savior, but a seeker of lore. Ronin's the key to what we're looking for. Through the ruins and the relics, he's making his mark. A beacon of hope in the timeline so dark. With every secret he finds, every piece he retrieves. He's crafting a future nobody believes. Ronin Vector, with the vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legends inscribed. Ronin Vector, the man who defied. Ronin Vector, the chrono navigator. In the flow of time, he's the prime innovator. Exploring the realms where few dare to venture. He's the Ronin Vector, the timeline's avenger. Ronin Vector, with a vision so clear. In the shadows of time, he's got nothing to fear. An explorer at heart, with a will that won't sever. He's the Ronin Vector, forever and ever. So when you feel the ground shake and the air gets colder, know that Ronin's passing by as the world grows older. In the whispers of time, his legend